had to look at spreadsheets and numbers and things, and I finally got.
All right, 6 o'clock, let me call this regular board meeting to order. If you all rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, clerk, please call roll.
Trustee Bowden?
Here.
Trustee Hudson?
Here.
Trustee Jones?
Here.
Trustee Maravka? Here. Trustee Sluse? Trustee Sturba?
Here. All right, public comments. All right.
Public comments, I'm sorry. This
Yep.
is our first time that we're here.
Yep.
Is this, if we have a concern, we're supposed to address it at this
Correct.
point in
Yep.
time? Okay, I guess I'll go. I guess up here and then
Yep.
talk to you guys,
Yep.
you're gonna have to walk me through this.
Yep, so just
What's
state
your
your name.
Okay, my name is Frank Simo. I reside at 217 East Wilson. I just purchased this house from Dennis and Susan Makiewicz. We've been living here, renting from them for the last, we rented, and you're gonna have to forgive me if I stumble. We rented from them for 2 years. Decided to purchase from them because we fell in love with the house, the community, and everybody in it. There seems to be an issue with the residents that I have across the street from me at this point in time. At 212 East Wilson. Now, up until this point, I really didn't have any issues with them personally. However, there's been problems with parking, with trash, with disposal around our house. The outlook of the neighborhood and whatever. Again, I had absolutely no issues at this point until last week on, I believe it was Friday. I was outside taking pictures of my house to get quotes for it for contractors. And I had the resident and their renters that came outside and accosted me in a menacing way. When I told him I didn't understand what he was talking about, he decided that he was going to escalate the argument. His wife at that point in time came up to me and we were having a civil discussion about she was getting tired of everybody calling on her for their parking, their trash, whatever the case is, on their house. Again, I told her I had absolutely nothing to do with it. The husband at that point in time returned back outside and brandished a handgun in front of me and literally chambered around in front of me. Now, I do have a police report from Officer Kovar and Sergeant Moore. The police report number is 230098. I haven't gotten any response back from what the outcome of that was. However, at this point in time, knowing how much I like this community and love the area that I live in and love the house that I'm in, I am very concerned for what Keatone is doing to enforce the codes that are supposed to be in place. I believe in this town, I believe in the people. I've literally done whatever I can community service-wise, whether it be with parades or helping out my neighbors in distress or whatever the case is. What I'm petitioning at this point in time is, because now my fiance and my stepdaughter-to-be are afraid to walk outside of our house. I don't want parking on the north side of Wilson. I would like parking to be on the south side of Wilson between 2nd and 3rd in order to keep all of their vehicles, which they have 5 at this point in time, by their house. That will alleviate them being worried about targeting me as the only point of target because they park in front of my house. And again, I've had absolutely 0 issues with them to this point in time. But now I feel that I cannot even walk outside of my house. I can't enjoy the area that I bought into, that I am paying taxes in for, and supporting all the time. So if you would entertain the notion of moving parking from the north side of Wilson to the south side in that block, that would alleviate, because when I talked to Officer Moore, this has been an ongoing problem for years. Nobody has addressed it, and I am not going to put up with it. I am worried for my safety and my family's safety at this point in time. And for me, being a person that does nothing but pay his bills, do whatever he can to be not only a good person, but a good neighbor, this is a huge issue for me. Their biggest issue is they have a lot of vehicles, and God willing, they have kids involved, and I don't want anything to happen with it. I really have no ill intent, none. But I need to get this direction focused off of me and put back on them.
Okay, so we'll talk with the chief and with our administrator, and we'll reach out to. Chief, do you have his information?
Yeah, I'll give my card and get your information, and I'll tell you what's going on with the other thing as well then. I'll talk to you one-on-one after your meeting if you got a minute.
Okay.
That is what I would like to do is, in order to get this problem done, and it's a simple fix, just move the parking from the north side to the south side at this point in time, so I can get the spotlight off for myself.
Okay, we'll look into it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Consent agenda includes the, oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was just waiting for somebody. My name's Julie Busich. I have the building, B-U-S-I-C-H. I have the building at 113 North 2nd Street for sale. And honestly, I'm just here because of the last village meeting. I know I've had Adam Jones show my place twice to prospective clients of his. And I know I had a prospective buyer in last time, not knowing that she was a prospective buyer, about the wine bar. I've owned that building for 23 years. I've sat here and waited for this town to become something. What? I don't know. I really don't anymore. I'm just here to ask Mike Jones one question. When I understand it's your business to question her about her business that she's putting in, but you made a comment at the end, hey, make sure to check out that roof. What do you mean by that? And do you think that's a conflict of interest? Have you been on my roof?
Years ago.
So how many years ago?
I couldn't tell you. It's a long time ago.
So you think that was pertinent to that last meeting of her looking at my building? That you had to make that comment to a prospective buyer? Did you think that was helping me in any way?
No, we can take this up after.
No, we cannot. No, because you made a public comment at a meeting. I'm allowed to make a public comment at a meeting, and I believe I have 3 minutes to do it. After the time Adam Jones has shown my building, I know from my real estate guy, he has said he's going to show the green building across the street. So right now, and I know it's happened a couple more times.
He never showed the green building across the street. I own that building.
Yes, and it's going,
sold
and
it.
it's for sale.
I sold it
Right.
to a fellow I've been
So,
dealing with.
over the last year, my building and your building were being sold at the same time. For you to make a comment like that on my building, sitting here as a representative of pt.1 Village Hall, which I have lived in since 1991, is absolutely disgusting to me. The next time somebody comes up here wanting to look at a business, comment on that. Other than that, keep my name out of your mouth. Keep what's going on in my building out of your mouth. I don't understand what you were trying to get at, except squash my sale.
No, I don't. That wasn't my purpose.
I think there was a huge conflict of interest. A huge conflict of interest. And I just don't think people like you have any room on this board anymore. This good old boys club, protecting your own, I just don't think you have room anymore in this village, Mike. There's other people running, and I can't wait for a turnover of younger people, a turnover of different people. I just don't understand why I have watched through the years, and maybe I do, now after your last comment, maybe I do, why I've watched these other towns around us all grow and prosper, and we sit here with nothing. I'm extremely disappointed at the comment you made, and I would like to file something with the village board on that. Definitely. My buyer is gone.
Okay, any other public comment? All right, moving on to consent agenda. We've got the minutes from the February 27th, 2023 meeting, and also our payroll and accounts payable. And let's see here. So for the pay period ending 3/4/23, the payroll of $75,491.05. Accounts payable for the pay period ending 3/10, we have a total of $134,331.55, of which $50,041.90 is the general fund, $5,825 in the building permit escrow fund, $72,262.15 in the BDD, the Business Development District Fund, and $6,202.50 of the TIF2 fund. Any of the items the trustees would like to remove from the consent agenda? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion.
Second.
Moved by trustee Maravka, second by trustee Hudson.
Trustee Bowden?
Yes.
Trustee Hudson?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Maravka? Yes. Trustee Sturba?
Yes.
All right, committee reports, Angie, I don't see Angie here anywhere. Troy's not feeling well, so there's no engineering report. Any police report at all? Public Works, just a note, the branch pickup will start in April. Just remember, there's just a few rules, maybe, look on the website. But basically, they just want them piled up parallel to the curb, 6 feet wide and just a few feet high. You have multiple piles, separate them by a foot or two, and nothing larger than a 5-inch diameter branch in there. Admin, you have anything to report? No. Okay. That's about it. Okay. So on to my comments, a couple of things I wanted to touch on. I went down to Springfield this last week just to meet with some legislators and lobbyists down there. This week was pretty crazy down there. This was their committee week where they're trying to get all their bills through the committee. I'll kind of give you a report probably next time on what we need to be concerned about. There's a lot of crazy bills out there, but most of them luckily didn't make it through committee. We're still trying to fight the TIF bill that we talked about last time, and then trying to increase our local government distribution fund from the state. So, also, I wanted to bring up, Amy and I went to the Will County Planning and Zoning Committee last week. One of the things on their docket was the solar farm that the gentleman came here to talk to us about, that's gonna be about a mile south of the village. That did pass the Planning and Zoning Committee, and it's gonna be voted on at the county board this Thursday. We've been in contact with the owners about annexing that property into the village. Mr. Rubeck owns that property, and his family, I should say, own that property. And it is contiguous with the village, and so we are working on that. So I just wanted to let the trustees know about that. So it'd be nice to control that section around I-57 for future development. The other thing, I just wanted to give my thoughts about backyard chickens. People have been asking to get that on the agenda, and we can certainly have a discussion about it, but first of all, I just wanted to give my thoughts about it. I appreciate the civil comments that people made at the last board meeting. I just wanted to give my feedback. Personally, I'm not in favor of chicken raising in the village, but I want to keep an open mind to everybody. When you live in a community like ours, we all have to give up a little freedom what we can do on our own property. The village has zoning and building ordinances in place to ensure that we live in a well-planned, safe, beautiful, and healthy community. If a property owner violates one of these ordinances, it's the village's duty to see that the situation is rectified. The village is far from perfect in enforcing these ordinances. Our biggest issue has been the lack of funds to employ a full-time code enforcement and/or building supervisor. Currently, we only have a contracted service in town a few hours a week to work on a code violation. This leads to inconsistent enforcement at best. I bring this all up because to satisfy the request of backyard chickens, we will need to come up with an ordinance to outline in detail what is allowed and not allowed for backyard chicken raising and figure out some way to enforce it. I've been approached by many residents who are adamantly opposed to allowing this. In your own survey, a third of the residents are against the proposal. If we allow backyard chickens, how do we protect that significant portion of our residents who are opposed? Some of the things we have to consider is the number of birds, the size, composition of a coop, where on the property is a coop, and feeding allowed, the size, height, and type of fence needed, penalties for violations, possible permits and inspections needed with fees, et cetera, et cetera. Do we allow a coop in a yard that already has an accessory structure? Our current ordinance only allows one accessory structure per yard. What happens to the coop and the fences if the owner sells the property or decides chicken raising is not for them? What happens if the chickens get loose and destroy neighbors' flowers or gardens? As you can imagine, there are a lot of things to consider to protect the health, welfare, and property value of the neighbors. Like I said, I'm open. We can have a discussion about this at a future board meeting, and if at that time the board decides they want to put together some kind of ordinance, that's great.
I know I ain't supposed to talk
Yep.
or something, but
Okay.
a quick question. You keep saying in the future we'll bring this up.
Yep.
Can we make a vote on it? Because I know there's some people gonna get voted out, and I wanna know who I'm voting for is gonna represent me.
Yeah. So we're gonna.
So like, can we do that? So in
We
the
can
future
have
we can
a-
vote on it again?
We can have a discussion at the next meeting, and trustees can give their
Yeah,
their
that way I
viewpoints
can know
then.
who I wanna vote for
perfect.
in my interest.
All right. So that's it. We'll put it on the agenda next time just to discuss, and if we want to come up with an ordinance, that's up to the board. All right, moving on. New business, approve employment of 2 part-time police officers, David Garza and Donald McRoberts. So if I could have a motion to do that.
I'll motion that.
Second.
It's been moved by trustee Marevka, second by trustee Bowden, or Sturbot, sorry.
Trustee Bowden?
Yes.
Trustee Hudson?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Maravka?
Yes.
Trustee Sturba?
Yes.
All right, so with that, if we could bring those officers up and we'll have our clerk swear you in.
You guys want to stand right here in the middle? Go ahead. They'll just come up together.
Raise your right arm and repeat after me. I, Donald McRoberts,
Donald McRoberts,
having been appointed to the position of a police officer for the Village of Peatone,
having been appointed to the position of police officer for the Village of Peatone,
County of Will,
County of Will,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Illinois compiled statutes,
the Illinois compiled statutes,
and the laws and ethics pertaining to municipalities,
and the laws and ethics pertaining to municipalities.
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
And I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of the Village of Peatone Police Department
of the office of the Village of Peatone Police Department
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my abilities.
You have to sign.
After David gets sworn in, they're gonna get, their badges pinned on by the people that they brought.
Okay.
David? Okay, you're gonna do the same thing. I, David Garza,
I, David Garza,
having been appointed to the position of a police officer for the village of Peatone,
having been appointed to,
the position
the position
of a police officer
of a police officer
for the village of Peatone,
for the village of Peatone,
county of Will,
county of Will,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Illinois compiled statutes,
the Illinois compiled statutes,
and the laws and ethics
and the laws and ethics
pertaining to municipalities,
pertaining to municipalities,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of the Village of Peatone Police Department
of the office of the village of Peatone Police Department
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Donnie, who do you want to pin your badge on?
On my way for me.
Lynn, can you come up, please?
Congratulations.
Officer.
David, who are you gonna have pin your badge on? Can
Congratulations.
My father, Elmer Garza.
you please come up?
I don't know if I'll do it as well as she did. I'm gonna give it a try.
No blood, it's a new shirt.
It's been a while since I've done this.
Sneak it in.
Good luck.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Officer.
Thank you.
Thank you. All
right, moving on. Item E is public hearing on the 2023-2024 fiscal year budget. So first, I'd like to call the order. We need to do a roll call, Jim?
No, just call the hearing to order.
Okay, so I just want to call the public hearing to order. Let me go over a couple of, find your email. You got it? Oh, okay. Perfect. Okay, so just a few highlights of the budget, and then if any of the board has any questions, we'll do discussion, and then if there's any public comments, we can do that as well. So this evening is our final approval of the fiscal year 2024 budget. Due to the change in the village's budget method, an appropriation ordinance is no longer required. So if you recall, in the past, we'd pass the budget, and then another month or so, we'd pass the appropriations ordinance. So we're doing it all in one here. So the total budget, all funds, revenue $5,470,200, expenditures $9,070,647. Most of the variance between revenues and expenditures is due to the TIF-2 bond proceeds that were recorded as revenue in fiscal year 2023, and the spending of the bond proceeds occurring in fiscal year 2024. So this is the $3.2 million that the bonds that we received, the revenue this year, but obviously we're not spending them on the road construction until next year. Employee-related costs are approximately 48.7% of the total recurring operating costs. Total capital outlay is $3.48 million. Most of that is the I-57 88th Avenue Wilmington Peatone Road improvements. The rest of it is road and sidewalk improvement projects throughout the village. We're gonna have a minimal draw on the fund balance in the general fund in fiscal year 2024. The projected fund balance at the end of fiscal year 2024 is approximately 10,800,000. This amounts to approximately 263% of recurring annual general fund expenditures. Our board approved policy is a minimum of only 30% of recurring annual general fund expenditures, so we're well over that. Fiscal year 2023 revenues in the general fund estimated were approximately 19% higher than the fiscal year 2022 actual revenues. We budgeted conservatively for fiscal 2024, left the levels of revenue at the same as the fiscal 2023. Personnel costs are relatively flat when comparing fiscal year 2024 to fiscal year 2022. So those are just some of the major talking points. Trustees, did anybody have any other questions on the budget or discussion at all? Okay, anybody from the public have any questions and discussions on the budget? Okay, if not, I will formally close this public hearing and we'll move on to the next item, which is an ordinance approving the fiscal year 2023-2024 Village of Peatone budget, which goes from April 1st, 2023 through March 31st, 2024. This will be ordinance 23-05. Is there a motion?
I'll let you know.
Second.
Moved by trustee Bowden, second by trustee Hudson.
Trustee Bowden?
Yes.
Trustee Hudson?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Maravka? Yes. Trustee Sturba?
Yes.
All right, moving on, item G, approval of resolution waiving competitive bidding and authorizing acceptance of a proposal from Kulash and Son for heating and cooling system improvements in the amount of $30,268. So we've had this in the budget for a couple of years. We've been lucky that really nothing has happened. We've got boilers that are probably 60 years old, and we've repaired them periodically, but I would like to propose that we go ahead and accept this bid. They will be replacing the boilers and also improving the air conditioning so that, if you recall, in the summertime when the air conditioner goes on, you know, it's quite noisy. And so we do have this in the budget for $30,000, and we've worked with Kulash for their local business, and he assured us that he could get this done by the end of the month so that this would stay in this fiscal year. So. Questions?
And just to clarify, Mayor, if I could, we would be eliminating the boiler system, maybe not, and replacing them with something other than boilers.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Entertain a motion.
Make a motion.
Second.
Moved by trustee Hudson, second by trustee Sturba.
Trustee Bowden?
Yes.
Trustee Hudson?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Maravka? Yes. Trustee Sturba?
Yes.
Okay. Item H, motion to approve partial payment of Iroquois paving invoice number 2, partial for Railroad Street in the amount of $42,615.15. So this is just another partial payment for the Railroad Street parking lot.
We're retaining 53,000?
Correct.
Correct, yeah.
Is landscaping coming out of that 53?
That'll be one of the things we'll have to finish,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of restoration.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah.
it's gotta be done. Okay.
Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Moved by trustee Sturba, second by trustee Maravka.
Trustee Bowden?
Yes.
Trustee Hudson?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Maravka? Yes. Trustee Sturba?
Yes.
All right, item I, motion to approve payment to M&J Underground for camera and cleaning at Main, Second Barrel, and North Streets in the amount of $22,944.39. So this came at the request of the engineers to see exactly what storm sewers and the condition of the storm sewers that we have in the downtown area, because as they are doing the engineering drawings for the streetscape, they wanted to make sure there was no big issues that had to be addressed, so so that's why we went ahead and had that done.
What'd they find?
Actually, it was in pretty decent shape. They didn't have to do a whole lot of repair. And the biggest thing was just the actual location. So they, so they know exactly where they're at. So when we start digging, we're not gonna, hopefully, that's one less surprise that we'll have.
That's good.
Yep. Your motion?
Yeah, I'll motion to pay it.
Okay.
Second.
Moved by trustee Maravka, second by trustee Sturba.
Trustee Bowden?
Yes.
Trustee Hudson?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Maravka? Yes. Trustee Sturba?
Yes.
All right, item J, closed regular session to go into closed session for acquisition of real property. I need a motion.
Motion.
Moved by trustee Maravka, seconded by trustee Hudson.
Trustee Bowden?
Yes.
Trustee Hudson?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Maravka? Yes. Trustee Sturba?
Yes.
And there will be no action coming out of this. Any questions of the press before we go in? Okay.
Well, actually, if you don't mind, would it be possible, would you mind emailing me a statement regarding the airport bill that's just passed out of committee?
I'll come up with something.
Yeah, that's why I didn't put you on the spot.
Yeah.
Just shoot me a quote.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. That's one of the
Yeah.
things that we were talking about down there.
It's a
so.
thing, it just
Yep.
went out of committee and they moved it, so it's gonna
Yeah.
become a cargo. And if it passes, it requires the state of Illinois to seek bids.
Yeah.
So, your thoughts on it, I'm sure the village would like, or the readers would like to know.
I know I'm